I've got two of our wonderful students and also our community of practice facilitator on board with us for our spotlight of the month for this month. I've got Gerald and Ethel. So firstly, I need a big congratulations to Gerald for being one of our top 20 finishers for the CDFP certification. So congratulations, Gerald, on your certification.
Thank you, Sarah. I was actually hoping to be in the top 5, but for some reason, something happened.
Being the top 20 in the world is still amazing. So congratulations.
Yes, it is. Thank you very much.
And also a big congratulations to our award-winning Ethel. She was Women in Africa award winner in the FinTech category and has also been shortlisted for the top 20 African Business Heroes Award for 2020. So congratulations, Ethel.
Thank you so much, Sarah. It is an honor to be named amongst those top awards in the African continent.
And we're soon going to be adding CDFP to that as well, right, Ethel?
Oh, yes. And I'm also looking forward to be maybe in the next top 30 since it's now already top 20.
Well, thank you for taking the time to chat with me today. And I'm really excited to share with our community some of your experiences and successes as being part of the DFI community. So Gerald, I'd love you to tell us a little bit more about your CDFP journey.
Thanks, Sarah. I think I would say it was one interesting and challenging experience, learning new things. And one thing I liked about the journey was it was more practical. It's not theory. And if you look at the subject matters, the courses that we're working on, you would realize that they were relevant in the period that I was studying. So my main take home is the input that was coming from the students, the moderation coming from the coaches, and even the assignments. I would say it's beyond many academic courses. So yeah, it was quite an interesting journey.
That's great to hear. And what impact has going through that program and getting the certification had on you and your career?
It's quite huge. First, personally, I feel authenticated. I feel verified to be speaking on digital finance issues and topics. If you look at, I've since left my former employer, and the reason why I left is because I had also then gotten another consultancy in the region. And one of the things that when I was talking to the project manager, he says, look, as we looked at your CV, one thing that set you apart from the rest was the journey that you're taking. Your interest in this subject is actually a good thing, and it's one thing that sets you apart from the rest.
Well, that's fantastic to know that the CDFP has really helped you in your career, and obviously, you know, in your role that you're going to be, your new role that you're going to be doing as well.
Yes, very much. And like you said, I think the things that I learned, the challenges that I faced, you see, sometimes you don't have to, you can't learn from your region only. Yeah, the things in my class, I had people from Bangladesh, I had people from across Africa, and there are things that they have experienced that we have not experienced as yet. So these are things that have already taught us how we can deal with issues in our own country, and even as we set up the association.
So that global nature is really important to the learning as well.
It is. It's the world is becoming a digital village, and you can't really then say because we are Zimbabwe, what's happening in Uganda is unique. But you discover that whatever is happening anywhere across the world can actually impact you as a country. So yes, the global aspect is actually critical.
Thanks, Gerald. And Ethel, what's your experience of going through the DFI courses?
Thank you so much, Sarah, for that wonderful question. I think I concur with Gerald. You know, the way this course gives us that outlook of an international outlook. And, you know, it's so easy for us to measure where we are as a nation against other nations, even in almost the same category with us as Zimbabwe. And, you know, it gives you that desire. It gives you that enthusiasm. It gives you that passion to say, if other countries can do it, then it means even our nation can also do it just like that. And, you know, it is so very important because this course gives you a practical experience. I like the research that's done in those courses. And you can easily take the experience, you can take the research and tailor make it to suit our very own environment here in Zimbabwe. You know, I was talking to my other colleagues and I was telling them that, you know, being a Christian, I say there's nothing new under the earth really. We just need to tap into the knowledge and look out for more and contextualize it to our society and make even greater impacts in the society that we live in. I'm excited about this journey, Sarah. I'm really excited, and where it's placing me. You know, even when you're discussing these digital finance issues with colleagues, you know, they look at you, they want to know, where are you getting all that information? And I'm like, come on, I'll show you where it's coming from.
Wow, it's so lovely to hear your passion, your dedication, your enthusiasm. And Ethel, that was one of the reasons why we wanted you to be one of our community of practice facilitators and playing that important role of helping contextualize the information that we're sharing in our courses to the local country for students. So tell us more, what's that COP facilitator role like for you and what value has it brought to you and your students?
It has really brought us value, Sarah, because, you know, when like minds meet and after having an experience of a world-class lesson and lecture, you know, a lot can come out of it, which is so valuable. And I tell you, Sarah, because of those COP meetings, our country of practice meetings, we have given birth to the Digital Finance Practitioners Association of Zimbabwe. You know, when you now both know what's the objective here, what are we supposed to be doing, and what are we looking forward to achieve, you know, it becomes so easy. You're not like you're starting from scratch. You've got other countries which have already set standards and you're bringing it home. So that it has really given us value as a country of practice. And also the networking that we have also experienced within our country of practice. You know, we are getting students with so very high positions in big institutions like the Reserve Bank of Zimbabwe. We are getting from Zinara, and you're like, how are you going to knock at those big doors if there was no a country of practice? Now look, we are interacting, we can talk on a peer-to-peer basis, and we can share even bigger ideas. And I'm looking forward to this Zimbabwean Association. Great news is going to come out of it, especially in 2021.
Fantastic, Ethel. And I'm going to ask Gerald what his experience of being at the COP was. And Gerald, I know you've got to say nice things because Ethel's on the call with us. But what did you gain? What's the value for you?
Over and above the networking, you also get motivation. You know, sometimes you're in a course and you're hitting a brick wall, not because it's difficult, or maybe it's just because you maybe you're failing to just allot enough time. But when you then talk to your peers, Ethel is one person that will push you until you do something. So you get that motivation, and people around you are actually supporting you. So it's one thing that I actually cherish, that I've been part of these meetings. Of course, we would then get a few drinks here and there, but look, the networking is quite it's quite a necessary, I would say, motivator to then continue on the journey. And you also then find I have a former boss who's in the COP, and when we used to talk in the office, he's the boss. But when we then interact at the COP level, look, we are peers. I can even tell him that, boss, I think there's something that you're not doing right in the office. And we can have that informal discussion and know no one is throwing stones at anyone. It's just an informal discussion. Yeah.
That's great to hear. I think for me, one of the things I really value about the community of practice is it is peers. As you said, it's informal. It should be fun. We can't give up our free time to go do something unless we find it fun as well. But that ability to bring people from all different backgrounds, and and everybody can talk on the same level about the same sort of topics and have that same passion and move things forward in Zimbabwe. And it's lovely to hear that it isn't just happening in Zimbabwe, obviously, but in other locations too. But it's really important to hear in a particularly difficult, challenging situation like you have in Zimbabwe.
Yes.
Talked about this association. Tell us, Gerald, a little bit more. What is the association that you're referring to? What does it mean? What is it about? What is its aims?
Okay, I'm so excited about this association. So sometimes I find it difficult. Should I start at the conclusion or should I start with the introduction? But I think where we want to be is as an association, we want Zimbabweans to be aware of what's happening around them in terms of digital financial inclusion. And not only digital financial inclusion, but digital inclusion per se. Because sometimes you'll not be able to get digital financial inclusion without digital inclusion. You'll have people that have gadgets that they can't use. So we want, as the end goal, to have a population, a citizen that are comfortable with their digital platforms. We want a population or citizen that can even come into discussions when it comes to digital financial inclusion. We have had so many topics being thrown over in Zimbabwe in terms of mobile money closures, regulation, financial intelligence unit coming up with different regulations. But what we want now is for everyone in this country to understand where the regulators are coming from, where the MNOs are coming from, where the banks are also coming from. So we want an objective analysis. We don't want a situation where people are just debating for the sake of, like, we're debating politics. This is economics. We need to be objective. So this is where we want to be as an association. Who are we? We are Digital Finance Practitioners Association of Zimbabwe. And we are open to anyone and everyone, but of course we'll then do our due diligence in terms of vetting who comes in and who has to go. But we are open to anyone and everyone who is interested in the subject of digital finance.
Thank you, Gerald. And Ethel, can you tell us a little bit more from your perspective, what you're excited about for the association?
Thank you, Sarah. We are also excited about this association because we are believing we are going to have even an impact in the policy issues here in Zimbabwe. We as practitioners, we have really felt that Zimbabwe has been a bit behind, and even our authorities have been a bit slower in getting interested in what's really happening around the world. And actually, we are seeing even the impacts of COVID. It has really given a rude awakening to everyone, to us even more, to say, oh, really, this is what happens when things have come to a halt in the world. It can also affect even us in the third world, and life can change. I think as Zimbabwe, we were first at a denial stage, but we then came to that realization to accept that it's also impacting us as Zimbabweans. So as an association, we are looking forward to that, to say we are going to influence the policy issues in Zimbabwe, and we are going to be the best advisory association when it comes to digital finance issues, or rather digital issues here in our country, as Gerald said. So I am looking forward to this association, especially with even more influential people that are joining us to really understand, what happens, Sarah, when there's that generational difference, especially in countries like ours. There's another generation which is not really quick to catch up with what's happening at the low end. And we are saying we are here, the young generation, and we are here to explain to them what's really happening and what should they look for, what should they focus on, what can they expect in the future. Because at least for some of us, we now have that knowledge to say if ABCD country experienced this from this stage to another, we at least have a vision or a visual future experience that we can advise on the policymakers and make our Zimbabwe a better nation, a digitally, financially included nation.
It sounds like just bringing that ecosystem of everybody working in their digital finance and bringing them together, forming a group where you can brainstorm and then provide the appropriate support, policy, recommendations, research, whatever it is to help your country both increase the amount of digital finance uptake that happens, but also improve financial inclusion as well, which is going to be really important. So it sounds like an amazing journey ahead for you.
It is actually, I always share the joke with other digital finance practitioners to say, guys, we are the last ones who are going to board the bus to go out of Zimbabwe. Until we have made things change here, we are not going anywhere. We are going to bring everything that will make us comfortable home.
Sure.
Wow, well, you've got great ambitions, and I look forward to maybe in a year or two's time to touching base with you both and hearing all the different initiatives and change that you've managed to bring to Zimbabwe. So thank you very much for sharing your time and your journey and your passions with us today, and I wish you both the very best of luck.
Thank you so much, Sarah.
Thank you very much.